I'm Ato Bolden, your host for another episode of Inside Athletics, brought to you by the IAAF. My guest today, the only person to ever hold the World Youth and World Junior 400-meter titles concurrently, Shaunae Miller of the Bahamas. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, first of all, after all that junior success, this winter you stand in Poland on the bronze medal position, your first senior medal of any kind. What was that like?
It was exciting, really exciting. It was my first time getting a senior medal, and it's just the beginning for me. So I was really excited with it, and giving motivation for the upcoming seasons.
Now, you attended the University of Georgia very briefly, where, of course, they have a bit of a history of having Bahamian stars go there. Debbie Ferguson McKenzie comes to mind. Tell me why you chose Georgia, and then why you decided to turn pro so quickly.
Well, I chose the University of Georgia mainly because one of our coaches, Bahamian coaches, he was coaching up at the school, and he recruited me in. And when I went up to the school and took a visit, the campus was just amazing, and I just fell in love with it. And the Georgia people there, they were just like family the minute I got there. So that was basically my only choice going there.
Now, I was in Nassau last month for the World Relay Championships, saw your face and image plastered all over the country. Unfortunately, you were injured and couldn't compete, but it had to be absolutely special to see your country welcome the entire world. What was your experience, even though you couldn't compete?
It was amazing. The crowd was stacked, and everything just went well. It was the first time hosting the World Relays, and we got to host it back at home, so it was exciting and it was amazing.
The first time I saw you run, I thought, she looks a lot like and reminds me of one of my former training partners, Marie Jose Perec. But let me know now, who were the people that you looked up to in your event when you were coming up?
She was one of those that I looked up to, and I got the opportunity to meet her in France as well. But
you're a little taller than she is, maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Maybe the same.
I may have grew a bit.
Yeah.
But her, Michael Johnson, people like those that I looked up to growing up.
Now, where were you? How old were you, I guess I should ask, when the Golden Girls achieved their gold medal in Sydney? So that was 2000. So
I was home. I was home. I remember it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
And just about the entire country was up watching the event, and I just remember watching the race, and right afterwards, everyone just came out of their houses and we were just celebrating in the streets, and it was just a great experience for all of us. And
your 200-meter running, I think, is very noteworthy. You've run 22.4 for a personal best. Is it that in the future we're going to see you doing almost as many 200s as you do 400s, or is your plan to stick more on the 400 side of things?
Well, I do love the 400 a little bit more.
Really?
But I think I'll be sharing it both with the 2 and the 4. All depends on my coach, the decision, things like that. But I love both events, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Now, there are a lot of young phenoms, and I consider yourself certainly one of those in the junior ranks. And you look up 10 years after and you go, wait a minute, whatever happened to that young star? Have you been made aware of that? And what are the things that you think you have to avoid so that you have the same kind of success on this side of on this side of your career that you did as a junior? Because you had some really phenomenal junior success.
Well, yeah, I've been aware of it, but I had people come and speak to me and things that people like Debbie Ferguson. You know, she's had a awesome career, and she always gives us advice and things like that, and she's just basically telling us to stay healthy, continue to work hard, and keep focused and things like that, and hopefully things will work out fine.
Now, you said you prefer the 400 to the 200. I don't often hear that, even by people who run both. What is it that you love so much about that 400?
I really can't tell you, it's just so much different things. I do not like the pain after it, but running the race, it's just, you have so much time to do so many things, I always tell people that on the backstretch, I think that's the most time I ever think in my life, on the backstretch. And
see, people don't think that track athletes think during the races, and there you are confessing to having backstretch thoughts. Give me an example of some of the things you think about not even halfway through a quarter mile.
You wouldn't believe it, but it's some of the most randomest set of things.
Did I leave the iron on? How does my uniform look?
It's really weird because I think of a lot of weird things. I'd be thinking about, I don't know, food maybe.
Really? Food during a quarter
or
mile?
what I have to do later that day and things like that. It's just random thoughts. But, since you've been doing it for so many times, you just get used to running it over and over. So as far as thinking hard about the race, it's not a problem.
I've heard other quarter milers say that they actually do love the quarter. They just hate training for it. Are you one of these athletes who, are you like a super practicer where you finish everything's on time, never fall out during practice? Are you one of those types of athletes, or are you the exact opposite? Because you talked about Marie Jose Perec. I told people all the time, there's a lot of times she'd be like, no, coach, I cannot, I'm done. Are you one of those?
I do not like hard practices,
right.
but I try my best to get through them, and I know that's what I need to be the best, and I just put my mind to it that it has to be done.
So let's talk off the track for a little while. You are 6'1", 20 years old, good-looking Caribbean woman. Do you have off the track interests in terms of, okay, Dee Dee Trotter in your event, model. Natasha Hastings, your event, model. It seems like when the modeling agencies come calling, a lot of the times they look for women in your event. Is that something that you've been approached to do and something you're interested in at all?
I've been asked so many times if I model, but I'm thinking about it. It's in mind, but I haven't really started anything as yet. So,
what other things are you into when you're not training or running?
Other than sleeping.
Other than sleeping. Everybody knows track athletes are lazy, and we're like cats. We sleep a lot, and when we perform, people go, wow. What else are you into?
Other than that, I just spend quality time with my friends and family. Try to go and see a movie here or there, whatever spare time I have.
Now, I know you're still taking classes at the University of Georgia, even though you're no longer competing for them, and you've turned pro. Tell me about the transition going from an NCAA athlete, you were NCAA indoor champion, and now doing it for a living, where you have sponsors to, you have a contract and you have to live up to what your sponsors want and perform and so on, and now you're really doing your event for a living. What's that been like?
I mean, it's been pretty good. Transition wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
But I think I came in pretty smooth. As far as comparing it with school and track and trying to balance it is still a bit hard, but I'm getting through it, and it's pretty much all I need.
Being in Nassau for the World Relay Championships, I really got a sense of, I know this because I traveled in the Caribbean, but maybe for the first time, people really got a sense of, wow, these Bahamians are just as track and field crazy as the Jamaicans. During that 4x4, I thought that was the loudest noise that I've heard since London. What could you tell people about why track and field is so popular in the Bahamas? Has it always been that way, or is it since 2000? Where's that come about?
I think it's always been popular in the Bahamas. Growing up, we had a lot of support by the track and everything else. So I think that as far as supporting the sport, the Bahamians did a pretty good job.
There are a lot of young girls in Nassau and the rest of the Bahamas that are looking up to you and saying, you know what? I like what she represents. She's running, she's winning, she's having fun. I want to do that. So talk to them now and let me know what advice you would give to a 10-year-old junior star somewhere in Nassau right now.
Just continue to keep your head up, continue working hard and keeping focused. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. Go towards your dream, and I'm sure things are going to work out just fine.
But you seem to have a fantastic career ahead of you. We wish you all the best in that. Thanks for coming on.